Virgo. Hey, thanks for joining me. Guys, this is your December 2020 reading. The last one for this year, this oddball wackadoodle year. I hope this finds you all well and ready to sit back and receive the messages that are coming. From my perspective, I believe that these will take you into 2021, these messages. This is a really good time to align with yourself and to set some intentions or goals on how you wish to proceed with the next year, what you are aiming for, what you would like to drop off, what no longer suits you, changes you can implement, and things that you dream and desire of as well. It is a busy month in December still astrologically. We've had a really busy year, and I'm not an astrologer, I never pretend to be, but I'm unsure exactly to the extent of next year's astrological lineups. I do know that before this year began, there were many good quality astrologers on YouTube even that were constantly talking about the beginning of the year with the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in Capricorn, and they said this was going to be a massive, boom, powerful impact, and I think it was. So as we've rolled back round into December, we've come back into that alignment again, the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction on the winter or summer solstice day of December the 21st. But in December we also have a solar eclipse on the 14th, and in fact today here in New Zealand is the 30th of November, and that is the day of the first solar eclipse of this partnership. So today has a very strong, powerful cosmic energy thread running through it. It's no surprises that I find myself sitting down doing lots of channel work today because I just feel it in the air. There's so much going on. So then the second solar eclipse is the 14th of December. The 15th of December, Chiron stations direct in Aries. 17th, Saturn enters Aquarius. 19th, Jupiter enters Aquarius. 20th, Mercury enters Capricorn. And I've told you about the 21st. So phew, we are seeing the year out with this kind of cosmic fireworks display. And although many fireworks may have been put on hold tentatively here on Earth, boy, the cosmic skies, they are blasting everything they can give us. So these are times of immense change and powerful learnings and transitions for all beings and life forms that reside on Earth, including change for Gaia herself. Now, before we start your reading, I did do some intuitive work. I'll read them out to you. It was a bit unusual. I know you're Virgo and that starts with a V, but I suddenly saw all these letters V. So I wrote down V, 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 and then I wrote the word victory. So who knows what your victory is about, but I felt this feeling of some sort of victory around you. So whether that's been a long time coming or whether it's something that is eventuating for the future. Also diet and vegetarian and green. That will provide you with high life energy. Lessons and re-education could be something that crops up for you guys. Attending or giving or teaching and giving to society and being part of the community will give a feeling of success and safety and release nervousness. So I thought your messages were a little bit encoded and I couldn't quite necessarily feel into the depth of all of them. I hope that they kind of match something with you guys when you think about them or ponder them. But more interesting even, let's see exactly what the cards will begin to show for us and what story they will be telling. So this is a full tarot deck. This is the Star Chakra tarot deck. This is the Energy Oracle Healing deck, and this is the Soul's Journey deck. Oracle. These are a little bit intense, so I will just see what type of messages come with those, and depending on what turns up, I will look at perhaps using another deck of cards to finish your reading off. So for Virgo, for December 2020, let us see what is in store. What cosmic messages are coming your way? And we will just shuffle the deck to get your energy in. This is so interesting. The last three readings I've done, the Fool has pretty much jumped out on all of them. And this, of course, this is the first major arcana card of the deck. It's even the first card of the deck. I think it represents powerful change, new beginnings, and the 0 is an infinite number as such. It's the number of this realm, so this timeline or here and now, but it's also the number of wherever else it originates from. Where does 0 come from and where does it go? So it has infinite possibilities, including tying in the past into the present and into the future, and collaborating all of those timelines or events into purposing you on this new journey. I notice it's also very grounded in colour, like using the earth chakra or the base chakra down here, because we have so much red, and these look like tree roots holding her down, as if she has been held down or grounded in something, but as if she slowly starts to break free. So some of you may need your grounded Virgo sensibility, you may need that to be opened up to allow for more freedom, or to allow for a new you that is beginning to occur. You may have felt that you have been grounded or held down by some sort of system in your life, or beliefs or situation that may have been keeping you grounded. But more than anything, the Fool is about opening up to new journeys and heading off on a new destination. I tend to find it as a very, very personal card, and it doesn't often represent mass people or situations, so it's not necessarily about a community that you live in or a big community making a change. This is you desiring to seek some sort of internal change and finding out more about the who you are and where you want to be. So quite a poignant card to turn up for a December reading, leading us into this new year that is coming. What else is in store here for Virgo for December? Oh, that's nice. The 10 of Coins is a voluptuous card in many ways, but it's also the card, interesting, quite the opposite of this card here, which is very soul or individualized. This is very much about other people in your life, and this portrait here shows a family portrait. So this can often be referring to family members around you. Perhaps some of you are feeling the need to be more on your own or more individual, or perhaps you are formatting a new belief system or integrity values or something along those lines that could be either moving you away from being tied down to a family, or moving you towards going toward a family that you haven't seen for a long time. This can often be referencing grandparents or extended family members. Sometimes this could show that you are getting together with them or seeing these people again after a long split, or perhaps you are feeling more confident in being around them because you are not afraid to be you anymore. You're being honest and truthful about the who you are and what you want, or at least you're beginning to be. But this card bodes well. You can see there are finances here in the background. There's a beautiful treasure chest of immense, glorious abundance of wealth. And this card often portrays that. It's as if there is happiness, security, a family that supports you or loves you or backs you up. Sometimes this can be grandparents who you might see, or who might have even passed over, but they could be here in spirit world. They could let you know they're here as well. You may see or hear messages from them. It doesn't just have to be your grandparents, it can also be parents. This card can sometimes turn up when there is the possibility of a generous offer from someone within a family line. Sometimes this is an inheritance that can turn up. Sometimes it's a bequeathment or the gifting of some family jewels that may have been in a treasure chest for a while. It can be parties, celebrations, events and such like as well. But these two bode positive, strong energy that's coming in for you. I also note that this card, the yellow, is about the gut instinct or the solar plexus chakra through here, and it could be about strengthening that and remembering to trust your gut instinct and the messages that come in. The 8 of Wands is often about something happening very quickly. Oh my gosh, I didn't see that. You've got the Magician as well. Wow, this is looking to be a very promising reading. You've got the Fool and the Magician, so the first and the second card in the tarot deck, and the first and second in the major arcana. When the Magician turns up in a reading, there is magic in the air. And for some of you, this could be magic in terms of career or something to do with finances. But the Magician can bode well in any aspect of life. This can be love, relationships, physical health, abundance, financial, career choices, you name it. Wherever you are looking for, the Magician can turn up. So just remember that the Magician is an alchemist. So it's about turning something that exists into something different. And that takes effort. So pull upon these amazing moments when the Magician turns up and see what you want to alchemize in your world to turn it into something that is more like a treasure or something that is beneficial or positive. Now this could happen very quickly, especially given it came with the Eight of Wands, which is a card of speed and like cosmic acceptance or cosmic support. This can often be in the realm of jobs or our passions that we're passionate and fired up about. So some of you may get a job offer. You may find new people coming into your life, and sometimes this card can represent new lovers as well. There is this possibility of new friends coming in. I feel the abundance that is burgeoning from these cards is like bubbling away. If we look at the color palette, we've got really the base chakra coming into the sacral and then up to the solar plexus chakra. So these are all the lower parts of the body, and these are all the physical chakra energy points that are being established or energized or freed up, or they're asking you to focus on them. So because you're Virgo and you're already the ground sign, these areas of your body should be the ones that are very important or activated or free flowing anyhow, because when they are, you gain more of your Virgo strength and your Virgo virtues. Oh, there's the VVV. So I feel like really focus on this, you guys, and pull on the amazing energy of some of these cards that have turned up, especially the Fool, the Magician, all of them, the Ten of Coins and the Eight of Wands. Feel into the beauty of this color palette. Allow it to work through your body and your spiritual body, because that's where the chakra energy wheels are. If you're feeling any amount of lack in these areas that I have talked about, the base chakra, the sacral chakra and the solar plexus, then initiate some sort of activation through those areas of your body to be able to activate and to receive the energies of the Fool, the Magician, the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Coins. So this can be done by wearing these colors, by doing exercises that work those parts of the body, and by eating the foods that also show those type of colors as well. Let's carry on a little bit longer. This is for Virgo. What is it that we can show them and have them meditate upon and understand for December leading into 21? They're thinking about it. One more for Virgo. Let's see what these two are. The Queen of Cups, a court card, and the Six of Cups. So we now have these two down here, the same colour. This is up in the third eye area. So this is about gut instinct, trusting your psychic messages, becoming more in tune with them as well, which is a little bit what the Ten of Coins was saying up there. For some of you, this Queen of Cups could be a person in your life and a water sign. It may be your own rising or moon water sign as well. These two are both hinting a little bit more about emotional perspectives in life. And the Six of Cups harks to us back in time about love, or about when we were younger and enjoying those thoughts and memories, and sometimes this can be reconnecting again with places where you grew up or seeing people that you grew up with. And we talked a little bit about this with the Ten of Coins, like seeing perhaps family members you hadn't seen for a long time, or going to a celebration or an event where family members might be involved. This is not dissimilar. So there's a couple of these messages coming through. Some of you may travel in this month of December or January to go and visit friends or dear loved ones, or things from the past that you really reminisce with and reconnect with, and enjoy that whole feeling that it was like back then, where you think, oh my gosh, I remember the good times. That's what this card is often about. This card can also often be about reuniting with ex-lovers. So ex-lovers could come on the scene, and this could be to clear a karmic debt, to allow progress into the future. It could also be to reignite with the person one way or another. The Queen of Cups could be a very good long-standing friend, or someone who is your emotional ally in life. It could be that this person is there for you to unload to, if you like, or to listen to. Sometimes they're compassionate listeners, and sometimes they're compassionate givers of the emotional sector. She could be a family member for a lot of you, and someone maybe that you're reconnecting with in this past energy field. So for some of you, this may even be passed over, and it might be someone who you dearly loved who had passed over, and you might feel their presence, or you might be thinking about them a lot at this time of the year. So really quite a nice positive bunch of cards that have come out for you guys, Virgo. We'll just put those up there a little bit and continue with this deck of cards, the Energy Oracle deck. So this is for Virgo, what is in store for them in the month of December. A woman holding a coin. I often think of that as being a Virgo type person, or an earth person, and I guess it's because of the coin that is there. Although sometimes I think of it as being a fire sign, because in traditional tarot, the Queen of Wands often has a black cat with her. So this could be yourself, but we've got these coins coming back again, and it's almost as if someone or something is talking to you about your finances or money. Is this a loans person? Is it a grandma or a great-grandma, or someone long gone who has bequeathed money, or you hear about an inheritance or something to do with family properties or wills and things along those lines? She could be a loans manager. She could be a friend. And she could also be someone offering you like a position in a job of some sort, or as an advisor to you about your finances. But it bodes very well. Even though she has a rather stern look on her face, she's quite somber. And that's why I get the feeling that she comes from the past for some reason. So even if you might receive messages in dreams from passed over family members, or from past times, like going back in history, and something might be relevant to you about that. Interesting card to come up. She's connecting somehow with these up here, and with this one most definitely. She has a story to tell, but she's keeping herself a little bit hidden at the moment. So she may unfurl more energy throughout the reading, or she may make herself more known to you guys through the month of December and into January. Strategy, and this is about money as well. It's also about journaling, and it's about communication and writing things down. So there at the top of this is a key, if you can see it up here. And my perception of this card is that the more strategy you put into a situation, and especially if it is concerning a journey, because there is a compass here, or your money or your finances, or what you want to do with them, or how you want to earn them or gain them or spend them, then the more of this strategy you deploy, which includes a form of communication that is either written, so signing something, writing things down, documentation, or talking, or forming some sort of cohesive structure to it, the more you will find the answers. And maybe that is part of this whole scenario here with the money and this person, and does it go back in time? And again, this is quite an ancient looking card in many ways, going back to the feather writing. I feel as if we're being led back to something like the 1800s or a timeline like that. The Temple Path is a beautiful one to come out, and this is a little bit like the Fool card in many ways, because it's talking to you about an illumination of the understanding of your spiritual perspective, and that is what the Fool is really doing. The Fool is heading off on a spiritual journey of understanding the reason you're here and what the soul is looking for and how to connect the soul with the physical plane. So the Temple Path is similar. You're coming up to this point of illumination through meditation or through the quiet times or through understanding things that take you out of your own perspective and into the cosmic field. It is a lovely card when it turns up, and it is one of understanding, awareness, connection, expansion. So it's a very positive one. Interesting here, we've got the contract. So for this time around, I'm thinking the contract could be, there's a couple of things when this card comes out, but the fact that it's come out with the other 6, which is the 6 of Cups, I think some of you have been tied into previous contracts that could have been karmic in a way, and that this is an opportunity for perhaps you to break it. And this is what I said earlier about the 6 of Cups, when something like an ex-lover could come back on the scene one way or another, and this could be the portal of time where a karmic release can take place, because as we move into December, we are still operating in very powerful karmic fields. When we come into this world, long before we're here, we sometimes sign contracts with people, and they're soul contracts, and they can be with us for many, many lifetimes, even going back a long way in time, going back into centuries ago. That's why I thought there was a bit of a story with this reading. So it feels to me as if some of you have had a contract that you've signed with someone, and it will have been perhaps a romantic partner. It could have been a family member as well. And this is an opportunity for you to clear this soul contract and to free yourself up and to bring balance back into the situation again. So usually a soul contract is because you love a person or a soul very, very dearly, and you've tied yourself to that soul so that you continue, or you can continue, many lifetime journeys with them. But often throughout the period of these journeys, we come to understand that we didn't need to be tied into the contract, that their soul is evolving as it should, and so is ours. And sometimes that means we're ready to move apart and grow in our own individual way, like the Temple Path and the Fool. So the contracts can be broken, especially when any karmic debt has been reassigned or deployed or healed. And this can happen through lifetimes and journeyings of event. Now, for some of you, it may involve finances or family money. For others of you, it may involve the heart or love relationships. But there's an opportunity for this contract, the soul contract, to be healed and to free yourself up. And when this happens in a lifetime, you will find a whole bunch of baggage disappears with it, and that oftentimes you are freed to pursue life in a new way, a form and energy. And this is how the magician could work. This is an alchemic process of changing out a soul signing up that you did many, many lifetimes ago. So sometimes sometimes it can be done easily, and it's just happens, it just flows through. And other times there needs to be a weight assigned to it, like a deep meditation or a purging of some sort, or a deep healing or a deep bonding. It's a long process. It's not really something we can go into any further in this reading, but it's very, very interesting, and I do think there is a big story in here for some of you about it. The other perspective is some of you may not even be aware that it's occurring or happening, because it's often at the subconscious or at the soul level, and we physically haven't tapped into its awareness drain at this point in time. Now, the other perspective of the contract can be that you are signing documents of some sort, and that they are generally going in your favour, and they can often be legal documents or contracts. And this can be to do with money, wills, inheritances as well, new job contracts as well. So you've got a really, really in-depth story that is beginning to take place with this reading. And I think for you guys, it would be really fun, I guess, to sit down and figure out where you feel these messages are playing into. And I do think this is going to take you way further than December. It will set you for your year going forward into 21. Let's see what the soul's journey is also giving you as messages. They may give you an insight into some of these contracts that you may have had, or the expansion that you are embarking on. Surrender. I can release my need to control. So if you have felt as though you had to control everything and, you know, have it all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, and you're trying to prevent certain things from happening, let it go. Let 21 be the year of just allowing whatever is for whatever reason. I tend to find that everything happens for a reason. We may not be able to see it all clearly at the time, but eventually we can often find the pathway and we see the answers in the end. This one says discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. These two are almost polar opposites. It's like a dichotomy going on, although they share a similar colour palette other than this bright red, which brings us back again, of course, to the base chakra area, and that was the first card that came out, the Fool card. So you're being told to surrender at one point, and then you're being told to deploy discipline at another. That's a very difficult message to even figure out. I'll have to let you guys ponder that one. This is weird. I have never really liked this mandala particularly much. It seems an odd one to me, and I don't know if any of you will get the same feeling as me. But for years I worked in a laboratory. That's my main career in the field of hematology and biochemistry. So I have a scientific background. But this looks like a petri dish with microbes growing on it. And in essence, it also looks a little bit like the big C, the big, virus thing. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe this could be relating to health issues for some of you as well, because it does remind me of the lab petri dishes and various tiny minute bugs that can grow on them and take over, but I'm not actually sure what the message is about that card. It's never been my favourite mandala of all of them. Worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. As I said, these are quite intense messages, and the words on the front are usually the opposite of, not this one perhaps. I can release my need to control. Yeah. The words there are often not the main part of the card, even though it says worry, discipline, surrender. It's the words underneath that seem to have more impact and power. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome, and how true that is. I remember being told that it may have been my mum, when she said, worrying doesn't solve anything, and it never will. We can sit here and worry as much as we like, but that doesn't resolve anything. Changing our position does. Making a decision changes the outcome. Doing some work or finding out the logistics or being strategic about a situation changes the outcome, not worry. So let any worry disappear. Surrender to the flow of life, and remember that some discipline in certain areas, like understanding or forming a contract or applying strategy to situations, can take away things like worry. Although most of your reading had plenty of the opposite of those anyhow, but they must be a background message that is being provided. I'm going to look at one last card for you. This is an animal oracle deck. So we'll just see what spirit guide animal wants to come out for you and give you a last message. For Virgo, for the last reading for 2020 for them. Virgo, for the last reading for 2020, what is the spirit message card? These cards often take a long time to activate, and I feel it's because they're spirit animals. They're not always just sitting around waiting to be called upon. They're busy. Hawk spirit, let spirit be your guide. Well, that's pretty simplistic message in its own way, isn't it? Okay, and we've talked to you about spirit before and passed over spirits and the spirit world. Let me read this message to you. Flying high above the landscape, the hawk sees both the big picture and the small details, observes the rain and the pond as well as the cloud, and doesn't miss anything. When hawk spirit arrives, you are called to pay close attention to messages from spirit that can appear anywhere in any form. Listen to your intuition and keep your eyes open for synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences in life. Hawk spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that spirit is sending to guide you. Lately you have been hearing the same word or song, or coming across the same symbol here, there, and in the strangest of places. Perhaps you hear a song on the radio with just the right lyric pertaining to your query, or you begin to notice uncanny billboards, license plates, or other places where repetitive numbers or words show up for you to notice. Pay attention to the animals that appear for you and connect with their symbolism. Spirit wants to connect and reach out again and again. When hawk spirit appears, it is a sign to listen. So that's a lovely way to finish your message. Remember to see the coincidences, synchronicities, and the animal beings that make themselves present to you in the month of December and leading you through to January. I wonder how many of you will see a hawk or a similar type of bird, whether it be a falcon, an eagle as well, whether it be one of those type of birds. Even a bird that might make its presence known to you or seemingly hang around, or listen to the bird calls that you hear and see if there are any in particular that seem to be repetitive or show up for you at certain times, and see what the messages might mean. So thank you guys for being here. I hope you've really enjoyed your reading. It was an exciting one to undertake with those very first cards. There is great promise for you ahead if you do the work and focus on what it is that's opening doors for you and which ones to take. So check your moon and rising signs. I love it when you leave your comments, as does the whole community, I'm sure. Have a wonderfully happy, safe and prosperous December and beginning of 2021. Much love. Namaste.